Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video we are going to see a new hook which is useEffect. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing so you won't miss any future content. Now let's start the video. Yes, so let's see what is useEffect in React.js. Basically, useEffect is a one of a hook which will going to run whenever the component render or mounted. Okay, and it's a replica of component did mount from the class component. It works the same as component did mount. Okay, but the only thing is we can't use useEffect inside the class component. It is only for the functional component. And let's see also in the code how exactly we can use the use effect and what are the use cases which we have generally. Okay. Yes. So you can see here, this is our project where we are having our all the components here. So let's start this application using the npm start command, and till the time it starts, let's create one component here inside src components, and here I'll create, or let's say we have already hooks here. I'll create one file here as effect.js. Okay, and let's import React from React package, and let's create a function with a name effect. Okay, and make sure whenever you are creating component, the file name and the component should match, and the first letter should be capital in the file name as well, in the component name as well. Okay, that you have to make sure. And let's render here as one div, and where I'll say href effect. Okay, and yeah, and let's export it. We saw like what is export and all in the few videos back. So export default effect. Okay, and as we have created our component, we have to import in the app.js. Okay, let's import it here. Okay, so let me comment on the previous one, and now let's do this one. Okay, so you can see it's already showing here with import as well. I can just click here, or you can write it whole thing. Okay, from here. So let's do it. Import effect from dot slash components slash, it's inside the hook slash effect. This is the file. Okay, so if I go back to our browser, yeah, we can see effect is here. Okay, the h1 tag basically. Okay, so now let's see how we can use or create use effect inside our functional component. Okay, the first thing what you have to do is you have to import it. Okay, so you can get the effect same as in the, like how we do for the state. Okay, in the React import, we have to have comma and curly braces, and here we can write use effect. Okay, this is how it is. And then we have to write before return. Okay, before return we can write directly use effect, and yeah, this is a function, so it will be a function call. It will be here, and what it will do is it will have two things. First thing, it will accept a function. Okay, I'm just creating direct arrow function here. You can create function here in the bottom, and you can apply it here. Okay, here, so that you can do, and comma a empty array. Okay, so we'll discuss what is this empty array later, but yeah, so this curly braces, whatever code you will write, it will run whenever the component re-render or mounted. Okay, so let me add a console here as hi. Okay, for now let's say hi. Let's go back, let me refresh the page. Let's open the console here. Okay, now you see it's showing hi here. Okay, so if I refresh as well, you can see hi is coming here. Okay, so use effect, this is how we can use the use effect, or we can create it inside the component. Okay, functional component. Now let's see what are all the use cases we can do generally. The first thing I'll say that use effect is generally used to fetch the details from the server. Okay, so suppose you are doing some application where you are showing products. Okay, so the products will come from the server. Wherever you are having a server, that server will give you the product details that you have to fetch it in your front end, basically in React.js. So when you have to do, so whenever the component is mounted, that time you have to fetch it. Okay, so for that what we can do is I have created a server. I will going to share you the link. and this is the server endpoint, and this is the route inside that. Okay, so I'll just do this. So it will show this one. I'll provide this link in the comment section. I can't provide in the description, that's why pin comment it will be there. You can find it there, this link. And here I have like you can go to the slash users route where you will find users. You can see these are all users, and this is not looking good. So what we can do is we can formatter. Okay, Chrome extension we can download or install JSON formatter. You can see this is how the logo will be. Add to Chrome, add extension. Okay, once it's added, we can go back and we can just refresh once. Now you see it's looking very good. Okay, basically it will parse it properly. Okay, instead of raw data it will look like this. We can see parsed. Okay, so this is an array of object of different users. Okay, so you can get this users. Okay, and you can fetch the data in your React application. So let's see now how we can fetch these details in our React application, at least in the console, and show it. Okay, so for that, what are we going to do? Okay, we can use fetch API, but there is a one more library we have in React.js, which is a very good library which everyone uses. Okay, it's called Axios. Okay, Axios. So let's install that library, and let's see the commands also to install a Node.js library in our system. Basically, let's go to the browser first, and let's head to the Axios npm. Okay, so npm JS we can see here. This is the first link, npm, and this is the Axios package. And here you can see we can see the details and all, whatever details they are giving, and what are all browser it supports. Basically all browser it supports. Okay, and you can see the commands, different commands to install it as well in the system. Okay, and how to use it, it will show it here. Okay, so now what we can do is we can just copy the command from here. Okay, so you can write npm I Axios or npm install Axios. Okay, so it will going to install the package. So let's go back. Here is our application. I'll create new terminal, and here I'll just paste it. Okay, so make sure you are inside your application, React application. Okay, right now my application name is practice app, so I am inside the practice app, and I can do npm I Axios. Okay, just click enter. So it will going to install a library in our React application, and once it is installed, we can see in the package.json it will list down. It will list. Okay, so let's head to the package.json now, and here you see dependencies, and in the dependency it's added the Axios here. Okay, so this is how it's coming. Let's suppose you want to uninstall a package. So what we can do, so you can do npm uninstall Axios. Okay, so let's try. You can see here in the package.json it should remove from here as well. Now you see from here it removed that. Okay, so this is how you can install an uninstall a package. Okay, so we need the Axios, so we can install it again, and it will list it here again. Okay, yeah, you can see Axios is coming here. Okay, so let me clear it, and in the other tab it's already running our React application. Okay, so I am opening into the other terminal. That's how I am showing it. So let me close all of this. So let's first import it. Okay, so how we can import, let's see. So import we have to write then Axios from Axios package. Okay, and you see we are able to import it. Now what we need to do is we need to fetch this data. Okay, fetch this whole data, and this is a get API. Okay, so that's one thing we are going to learn about later, like what is get, what is post APIs and all, but like right now it's a get API. Okay, so let me go back here. Let me remove this console from here, and here what we can do is we can write Axios dot get. Okay, and here inside that what it will do is it will accept so many parameters basically, but we have to give the URL first. Okay, inside the single quote. So let me copy this and let's paste it here. Okay, and this will going to return as a promise. Okay, so if it is returning a promise, then we have to use then and catch block. Okay, so let's use that dot then, and here I'll expect result like this. Okay, and I'll just console the result, and if it is a error it should give us error here. Okay, so I'll say log error. and instead of console.log we can do console.error. Okay, so there are many things inside this. Console.info, console.warn is there, or we can use for now error. Okay, basically it will show us that way. If you use info, it will just show normal text. If you use warn, it will say warning and then message it will show. Okay, and yeah, so this is what it is. We have done our Axios. So this much simple it is if you use Axios. Okay, if you use fetch API, it will be a very harder, like you have to call it, then you have to again you have to call it, and then you will get the data. But with this you can simply get the data inside the then block, or if it is failed, it will, you will get in the catch block. Okay, so let's go back to the React application and let me refresh it. Okay, so now you see here, so it took some time, but it is returning some data. You can see here, if I open this, here you see data is there, and inside the data we are getting the all usernames and all user details basically. Okay, so we are able to fetch it using the use effect. Okay, so what is happening here is whenever our use effect or the component is re-render or mounted, that time we are fetching the data from the server and we are showing in the console right now, but we can show this into the HTML as well. Okay, so let's try to show it. So basically first you have to store data somewhere. Okay, right now it is in use effect. Okay, so once use effect is done, it is done. Okay, there is no memory. Okay, so we have to store in somewhere. So what I will do is I will import use state from here, use state, and here what I will do is I will create one state as data set data. Okay, equal to use state. At the first it will be an empty array. Okay, I'll say, and set data we have to do here. So instead of this console, I'll remove the console, and here what I will do is result dot data. Why I'm saying result dot data? Because result is this much thing. Okay, you will have config inside this, data, header, request, so many things will be there, but we want to check data. Okay, we want only data, so that's why I'm only taking data inside it. Okay, so now our data is coming. Now what we can do is here inside the return, here we can write curly braces and we can use map method. Okay, because why we are saying map method? Because map method returns something, and here we have to return HTML. Okay, that's the reason we have to use only map. We can't use for loop here inside this. Okay, so that's the reason we have to use map only. So now what I will do is data, I'll use data dot map, and here inside this I'll create arrow function. I'll say item comma index. Okay, index is nothing but all the index values will come, and an arrow function, and here what I'll do is I'll return. Okay, what I will going to return is a what do we say, paragraph, let's say. Okay, I'll say username colon, and inside the brackets I'll say item dot username. So you can see here we are getting username from the each element or the object. Okay, so username we have, we can copy this and here we can paste it. Okay, and once it is done, let's save it, let's go back, and now you see we can able to see all the usernames are listing here. Okay, so this is how we can do it. So let me refresh it again. You can see, and you see here in the console it's saying one warning: each child in a list should have a unique key prop. So basically what will happen is right now these are all paragraphs. Okay, so these paragraphs should be unique. Okay, so that because of that we have to add key pair. Okay, key we have to add. Okay, I'll show you where. Inside a tag you can just say key equal to brackets, and inside this you can write just index. Okay, the index value you can give, or sometime index value also will not be unique. So that time what you can do is you can have item dot username itself, because username is unique name. Okay, that also you can do. Right now let's have only index value, and let's go back and let me refresh the page, and there is no error right now. Okay, yes. So now as we saw like how we can create a use effect and how we can use Axios package to get the data from a server and render in our HTML. Okay, now we'll see one issue with the use effect, or I can say with the React application. Okay, so let me console here again. I'll say data here. Okay, or just result I'll say here. Let's go back and let me refresh the page. Okay, now you see, as you can see in the console, there are two consoles. Okay, one here and one here, but we did only one console here, right? Why it is showing two consoles here? Okay, the reason is the React strict mode. Okay, so let's see where is the strict mode applied. Okay, if you go into the index.js, here you will see react.strict mode. Okay, what React strict mode does, it will check the warnings and the errors which we have in our component. Okay, wherever the component is rendering, it will check the error and the warnings basically and show us in the console. Okay, so because of this, what will happen is React strict mode will re-render the component again to check the bugs again into our component. Okay, so if we want to remove, if we can remove this, nothing will going to change it. Okay, so we can remove this and our component will not going to no longer re-render again. Okay, so if I refresh now, here you can see console, we are getting only one console right now. Earlier it was coming two. So the errors and the bugs will get it. Okay, but React strict mode have some other features, that's why we'll keep it. But right now you see, this is a problem. Okay, we are getting twice, we should not get twice. Okay, so this is one of the problem which we can resolve by removing the React strict mode from the index component, and the problem will be resolved. The reason is why I'm saying it, let me put it back, React strict mode, and let's see if we are getting twice here. Yeah, we are getting twice. Okay, so I'll show you one thing here. Okay, if you see here, there is a network tab here. Okay, in the developer tool, if you go there, you will see your APIs will be listed here. Whatever APIs you are calling to server, that will come here. You can see here users. Okay, we are calling slash user, that's why you can see here slash users is coming. But you see the request is twice, here is one, here is one. So this is a very bad performance whenever you have very large application. Okay, large scale application, that time there are lot of APIs we are calling. So if we are using React strict mode, it will do twice of the calling. Okay, you are calling 140 APIs, means it will double it, 280 APIs. Okay, something like that. So instead of this, what we can do is we can just simply remove React strict mode for now, and if we refresh it, you see only one time we are getting user, it means it is calling the API only one time. Okay, so this is what React strict mode we have, and this is what the performance issue will get whenever we are calling API during the React strict mode. Okay, yes. So right now you see, we have discussed what is use effect and inside that and the other problems as well. Now let's discuss what is this empty array. Okay, so this empty array will be having the dependencies. Okay, suppose right now we are using use effect whenever the component mounted. Okay, that time we want to fetch the details. Sometime what we want to do is, if the value changes, okay, if user writing something inside our page, that time also we want to do something. Okay, so at that time also you can add the dependency and you can say to our React application that whenever this particular value changes, then only run this use effect, or else don't do it. Okay, so let's do this use effect. I'll create here one more, and you can create multiple use effects. Okay, there is no limit for this, and I'll just write console.log. Like suppose I'll just write one thing here, and before that let's create one state here. I'll say count comma set count equal to use state, value will be 0. Okay, and here I'll say count in the dependency. Okay, and here I'll just write if condition count if equal to 10, I'll say alert you have reached the daily limit. Okay, just anything, any operation basically I'm saying which is dependent on the count. Okay, that I want to check. So now what I will do here is this list will be here. Okay, but I'll do one paragraph here, and here I'll show count. Okay, and whenever we are using any state inside HTML, make sure you have in the wrapped in the curly braces. Okay, and then I'll have one button here which is click, and what I'll do in the on click is I'll create an arrow function here, and I'll just say set count plus 1. Okay, so I'm just doing I'm incrementing the count. Okay, that's it I'm doing. So what I'm saying is whenever the count is reached to 10, that time perform this operation. Okay, so what will happen, let's see, let's go back, let's refresh this again. We got the data, we can see this all the list here. Okay, let's increment the count, and you see it's here. Okay, basically 0 we have here. Let's click here, 1 2 3 4 5. Whenever it reaches to 10, it will show us you have reached the daily limit. Okay, and done. So now if I do, it will increase the count, but it will not going to do the operation. Basically what I'm saying is it is dependent on the count. Okay, it will observe the count if it is rendering, if it is changing or not. Whenever it changes, it will going to run this. Okay, basically let's remove this again, and I'll do this. Okay, and here I'll say hi, or comma count I'll show here. And let's do one more thing, or let's have this only. Okay, let me click. Now you see it's giving us the count here. Okay, so basically it is use effect is observing this count here. Okay, so whatever count we have provided, if I remove this count from here and let me refresh again, let's see what it will do. Now you see I am increasing the count, but it is not doing anything. This console is not coming. So we can have dependency here. With that dependency, it will going to do some operations basically. Okay, so that's what it is. So generally, I'll tell you where exactly we will use it. I personally use it in the filters. Okay, what is the mean by filters? So suppose if you saw Amazon or something, there we will write a name, and with respect to that, the products will be shown. Okay, so if you do Puma, only Puma products will come. So that time what I am doing is I am writing some letters. With that letters, what it will doing is it is going to the backend and it is searching with that name. So if you see here in the user, I'll say question mark here, and I'll say username equal to KAR. I'll say, let's see if it is fetch. Okay, now you see this string I have written, I am doing KAR. Okay, and it is fetching the data. So this is what it is, it will do, but it has to be in the use effect. There is some other process which we're going to see later. So what exactly I'm saying is we'll have one variable here, or the state. Whenever the state is changing, we'll perform some operation, and that's how the dependency tab will work inside the use effect. Okay. Yes. So this is just a basic about how we can use use effect, and there are so many things will come when we start doing a project. But yeah, for now this is the use effect. This is how we can use, and we saw like how we can use the Axios as well, and we saw like how we can install a Node.js library and uninstall as well. How we can do that, and also about the server, I'm going to provide the link in the pinned comment. There is some rules and permissions we can't share in the description. That's the reason. So I'll provide into the ping comment. So there you can check the server endpoint, and you can try to fetch the details and show in your application. Okay. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing and give it a like. I'll be back with more content in the next video. Thank you.